Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back. I'm Ashley and today we are going to be getting back into sewing. I do want to give a small disclaimer for last week. I am so sorry that I wasn't able to get a video out. There was a lot going on and I just was not mentally or physically capable of getting the video out on time. So sorry. Just know that this channel was meant to be a way to show off the products that I make and not supposed to be the main focus. So me setting a schedule of having a YouTube channel every Saturday just isn't realistic when I'm trying so hard to focus on getting videos out instead of creating product. Product is where I will be making money. That is the only way I can make money right now. I'm not accredited with YouTube. I'm not being paid by YouTube. I'm not being paid by TikTok. I'm not being paid by any of these platforms right now. I am making zero income. So making the products is my main and only way of getting paid. So I am going to be focusing more on making product. And if that means that I missed a week and a video doesn't come out, then I guess that is what it is. Because I've been focusing so much on getting videos out that I haven't really been making product. I have made, 2 products since I started this YouTube channel. So I need to be better at making it, especially with FanX coming up in a couple months. Yeah, today we are going to be making some product and getting back into that because I need to be ready for FanX with new stuff, because the stuff I had last year clearly didn't sell and I need something that's going to be a little bit better. So I don't know exactly what kind of product I will be making today, but I do want to go through my fabric stash and kind of refresh my memory since I haven't been in it in quite some time. And then once we pick a fabric, I feel like this fabric will speak to me and let me know what they want to be made into. All right, so there are 4 main categories of big products I want to be focusing on for this next convention. So I'll probably only do 2, maybe 3 of each, just so that I don't overwhelm the booth with my stuff. It's not my booth, it is still my friend's booth. And so I want to make sure that Nat 20 Sabers is the main focus and my stuff doesn't overwhelm it. But the main focus of my section of the booth will be these 4 products. These are going to be the big stuff. I will still be making bags, like you can see back there, and belts, but those are going to be smaller and more off to the side. But the big ticket items are going from most expensive to least expensive. Cloaks. What I mean when I say a cloak is full length, hits the floor, but that's the biggest one. It's most expensive. I usually sell those for about $400 a piece. And then the second one down are capes. A cape, when I say cape, I mean shoulder to knee length. I had a bunch of requests for those, so I want to do at least 2 of those. I'll probably do 3 of those just in case. After capes, third most expensive thing are capelets. When I say capelets, I mean it just goes to here and that's it. They're fun, they're lightweight, they give a little bit more whimsy to an outfit and I like them. And then the last one I want to be focusing on is tabards. Last year I didn't make very interesting tabards, so they didn't sell. So I want to make sure that these next tabards are more interesting. I have several ideas on what I want to do with it and how I want to do it and how I want to make it more interesting. So that's kind of what I want to do. I still want to bring the ones that I have from last year, so I might only make 1 or 2 more of those. Those are the 4 big things. So as I'm going through the fabric, I will be looking at them and see what speaks to me and see what they want to be, because I want to make sure that I'm doing a good job and that I'm making some interesting stuff. And this is the creative part of the process. We're going to be focusing more on the creative process and getting product out. I need product more than I need videos. So I am going to try to get back to that so that I can have better product launches, because I haven't really had them lately. So we're going to be doing products, and I'm sorry, that means my YouTube channel is going to suffer a little bit. But what are you going to do? I know plenty of YouTubers that don't have a consistent schedule that do great. And I'm going to try to keep it as consistent as possible, because this is motivation for me to work on stuff. and actually get some stuff done. And I'm gonna stop doing apology videos and gap videos because I need to focus on product. Yeah, enough ranting. Off to the fabric stash to see what speaks to me. These are the 2 containers that have my cottons in it. Let's get to looking. So do we want to look through and see if there are pattern pieces, patterned ones? Because like, ooh, that might be a fun combination. We do another purple one. Do this blue with one of these purples. Because like, I feel like this would be a good one all on its own. So maybe we'll do it in the future video. It's got a plain green on one side and then a patterned green on the other. I feel like that would be for a fun reversible cape, maybe. These 3 were actually in my last fabric haul, so they're just loose on top. I haven't really put them in to the rotation yet. I feel like this is really cool. It kind of looks like a basket pattern, but I think it's too plain for what we're looking for. I feel like this would be fun to do. It's got like little yellow or big yellow roses on it, but I don't know if I have anything to match it. So there's that. I am looking at this one. So we'll do this pretty one. So this is the wrong side, and that is the right side, which I think is super cute. Now let's try to find a fun color to match. I feel like one of these purples might work, but there isn't really actual purple in this pattern, so maybe we'll keep looking, because like I could probably do a navy and have it be a navy with colors on the inside, but I feel like that's boring. I promised you guys color at one of the very first videos. I think it was the Cape of the Winter's Breath. I promised you guys color, so I'm trying to do color. So let's look for another pink-y purple. This is like a magenta purple pink. Is magenta pink or purple? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, is magenta pink or purple? We'll put this off to the side because I think I'm going to be doing that next. We're going to look at the solids. So these are my patterns. These are my solids. So we're going to look at my solids and see what we can find. Let's see. Let's see if we can find a blue, a green, or this magenta-y pink. So far, it does not look like we have any of the pink. I feel like this pink is too orange for this, but this might be perfect. I can get it out. Yeah, that looks like it might be perfect. This is too green, maybe. Yeah, this is too green. Not quite warm enough for this. I guess I could just do this denim looking fabric. I would go good with it. But I promised you color, so I'm trying to do color, even though this would kind of be perfect. I am liking the green better than the blue though. Kind of pulls out the green a little bit more. So I think we're gonna do this with this green. I feel like that would be a fun combination. And I feel like this denim might be too modern. At first, I wanted this to be as historically accurate as possible, but then I realized that these patterns and the patterns that are gonna sell the most are not historically accurate at all. And like snowflakes, they didn't draw snowflakes back then. They didn't know how tiny and intricate they were. Why would they draw snowflakes? And like, this kind of looks closer, but like this material wasn't there. So I've changed my motto to historically inspired, so I don't get in trouble because they're not historically accurate. I'm not a historian at all. I'm an amateur historian, which just means I like history. But like, I haven't gone to school for it. I want to go to school for it. I think that'd be kind of dope, but I haven't. And so I'm just going off of what I think looks cool. And so I feel like these look cool together. So we're going to do that. I feel like it'll be a good contrast. Found what I want to do. So I'm going to do this combination. I feel like that's going to be so cute. So I'm going to do that. All right. Time to go prep these and get them washed. And I'll think about what we're actually going to make with it. I feel like this is too flowery for a tabard, so we're not going to do a tabard. We're not going to do a cloak with these. Cloaks require duvet covers. So since these are just sheets, I'll probably do either a capelet or just a normal cape. I'm leaning more towards cape because this just feels more cape. And I can just see a fairy, someone that wants to be a fairy or a little witch. But like, I feel like someone would really like this. Someone that's looking for something that's a little more colorful and something that's a little more nature-y based. I can definitely see a druid wearing this. So, and like this is kind of like a sage green. Let's go get to prepping this thing so I can start sewing tomorrow. Now that they have both been seam ripped, it is time to go throw them in the wash so we can cut them out tomorrow. But I was thinking about what I want to do with this material, and I'm leaning heavily towards cape. So I think this is going to end up being a cape, but yep, let's do this. All right, it is day 2. We're getting a sneak peek into how messy my counter could get sometimes, but figured before we get started, we're going to clear off the table real quick, and then we're going to finish the prep so we can start cutting. Okay, let's do this. All right, and there she be. Let's get the rest of this ironing stuff out and get to ironing. Woohoo! So now that we have it all seam ripped and ironed, I wanted to go over what pattern we are going to be using. So the pattern that we will be using for this one is the same one that we used for the Cape of the Wandering Maiden and the Cape of Winter's Breath. It's the Simplicity 1582C. I feel like that will go really good with this color scheme. Just a dainty little cape. We are going to be modifying this pattern just because I don't like the way the shoulders sit. So we're going to be modifying that. So it's less bulky in the shoulders. I don't know why it gets bulky in the shoulders so much, but we're going to try to slim it down, and we're going to actually make it be one piece. So we're not going to do the break. We're not going to have it be two separate pieces. We're going to have just the green on the outside. We're going to make it one solid length of fabric. I feel like that'll modify it enough that it will become more of my own pattern, but it will be using this. We're going to be modifying this pattern so that it is a little more flattering in the shoulders and it's not as complicated to make. So now that we know what we're doing, you guys already know based on the title of this video that we are going to be doing the cape. So yeah, let's get to it. So we're going to use these two pieces and we're going to modify them so hopefully it won't be as bulky when we put them together, because these two pieces are like the shoulder pieces of the full panel and this is the rest of the panel. These are the pieces that I feel like need the most modification. So we're going to modify these, and then when we cut out the big piece, we're going to fold it down so that this angle is a little steeper so that it kind of hugs the body a little bit more in the shoulder area, and then it still has the same amount of swoosh because it only goes down to here. This runs along the shoulder, so we want to make this a little bit smaller, and then we want to make this angle a little bit sharper. So we're going to probably fold this like that and then have this curve be a little bit more dramatic, and then it won't go out as far. So yeah, we're going to go get some other tissue paper that I got from an Amazon order and remake these patterns so that there's a bigger difference. So this is the front, this is the back, and we will make sure that there's a difference. Pull these out. So now that the original pieces are cut out, I am going to work on making this curve more gradual. So it starts with the extra large height, but it's going to go down to a medium width. So I'm going to cut down the width about half so that when we connect it to the base, we will have a general width, and then I will just fold this width to match this width so that we can have the same length. And I'm going to do this right this time because last time I just cut this general shape out and that's not correct. I need to make sure that this width isn't as wide as it currently is, because that's not what it's supposed to be. When I bring this down to the medium, hopefully that will be big enough to make it okay. So we're going to take this curve and cut and basically come straight over, cut through the lanes and meet it over at the medium, just so that it's wide enough to fit on most bodies, but it's not so wide that it's super bulky and makes the shoulders look huge. This is what the paper looks like. Both of them are cut out like this. So we're going to make the two marks, because like you can see that angle, like that does not look like it's going to be very flattering. That is very sharp and it'll do great for men, but I want this to be more of a feminine build, so we're gonna make that nice and curved. All right, so the next time you see it, it will be cut out and we'll be ready to start cutting out some actual fabric. So yeah, okay, and this is what I came up with for the pattern. You can see that it's not so square, and then when I put it on the pattern, I will put it so it lines up with the outside of this paper, and then it'll be nice and flush with this part of the bigger pattern. So we now have our one piece. One of these days I will have enough parchment paper to make the full thing and not have to worry about lining it up like this, but this is what I have right now, so this is what we're working with. So yeah, let's get on to cutting. Welcome to the next day. So today we are going to be putting it all together. It is assembly day, if you will, and we will be using this brown color. I feel like this color brown will complement both of these fabrics the best. Either way, we gotta assemble and get this going. So here we go, assembly time. So the last part of assembly is putting the hood onto the main cape. This part usually takes me a while, so I will be pinning and pleating the hood to the main cape, and I'll be doing that off camera. Here she is, ready to go into the sewing machine. There it is. Sweet. Okay. Whew. So looks like I did a good job on that part. There isn't any loose ends. I guess it makes sense. This is the smallest hood I've used so far, so it was the easiest to get to fit. It kind of has like a leaf effect on the back, which I kind of like. So the last step in this process is to sharpen up these corners and make sure that they stay nice and straight, and to get these edges so they can be nice and crisp. So I will do that off camera, and then we will do the final hem and the button and buttonhole. Let's do the final seam on this, and I'll just see you in the reveal. Makes my life easier. Off to the reveal. And she's done. I'm so happy with the way this turned out. It is so good. Before I start just rambling about her, let's go into the likes and the things I want to change. So the number one thing that I absolutely love about this cape is the colors. Like I feel like they go so perfectly together. It's so pretty. I love the little button. It just matches the thread so well, and it's so cute. It looks like a little wood burst, but it just looks so cute. And I'm so excited for one of you guys to own this because it is so freaking cute. Another thing that I love about it, I love the length. I love this style. I do not regret making another one. I know this is like the second product and third one I've made that is this length, but it is just so perfect, especially for the summertime. It does get a little warm, but if it's like raining or if you need to keep the sun off you, it is perfect for that. And so it's just I love this length. The third thing is this hood went on so smoothly. It just I've never had an easier time putting on a hood. Maybe I'm getting better at it. Maybe this hood design's better than the last one. This hood is smaller than the last one by quite a bit. Like it's so much smaller, but it just works so much better. Like I said in my The Cape of Winter's Breath video, I just felt like the other hood was more designed for a cloak because it came with the cloak pattern, so it doesn't quite fit with this design. But I feel like the shorter one is just so good, and like it's almost flush with this front seam. That never happens. There's usually at least a little bit of a gap, and it went on flush, and I'm so happy with it. So yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop ranting about the hood. But the last thing that I feel like really was a good decision And something I really like about this process is that I'm so glad I used the brown, because I can't imagine using a navy with this. Like, this is a navy dress, and it just, I don't know, it's just too dark with this green. So I'm glad I went with the brown. The brown just went so well, and then I was able to find this button to match the brown thread like perfectly, and it's just so happy, and I'm a little sad to be letting this one go because it is so pretty and it just makes me feel so girly and feminine, and it's great. But this is I can't keep it. I'm not going to keep it. The biggest reason why I won't keep this, and well, there's two big reasons why I'm not keeping it. Because one, I need money and I'm trying to sell it. And two, I don't have anything in this color palette. Like, I am just barely starting to get into navies that go better with browns than my usual black and gray with pops of color that go well with those, but I just don't feel like these colors go well with anything in my wardrobe, so I'm not going to keep it. Just for video's sake, I definitely need to start investing in more just plain brown outfits so that I can model these better. I need to get more brown outfits. That's the number one thing that I'm going to change for the future. But for this exact cloak, I still feel like it's a little bulky in the shoulders, so maybe I slimmed it down in the top of the shoulders too much and not enough on the sides. It doesn't sit right. I don't know. Maybe I'm more used to the triangle shape, and so like this curvy shape that goes around and then down just doesn't feel like it sits right to me. Maybe it's something I need to get used to. Maybe this is more of a hobbity look. I don't know. I'm still getting used to it, but that's like the number one thing that I would change about this cloak. I did actually change a part in the process. Instead of flipping it inside out up here where the button is, I actually flipped it inside out on the bottom hem. So it's in like this area in the back. So it was a lot easier. I didn't feel like I was going to rip something important, and if I did, then it was something that could be hidden in the back, and it wasn't like as in your face where the opening is. So this seam can be nice and secure, and it just turned out so good. I think I'm going to continue with that change just because it was so effective and made my life so much easier and so much less stressful. But yeah, I don't really have a whole lot of dislikes or changes that I want to make to this cloak because it turned out so good. Maybe something to help make this a little bit more interesting in the front is maybe on some of the next ones, in order to make if I do just a plain panel like this, maybe I'll do some embroidery just to distract from how plain it is. But other than that, I feel like it is amazing. But yeah, she's done. She's so pretty. I'm going to be listing her, and she will be for sale as of July 1st. She will be in my July drop. So if you are interested in purchasing her, visit my website at the beginning of July, and you'll be able to purchase her. But other than that, thank you so very much for watching. If you like this video, hit that like button. I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory. If you feel like someone else would enjoy this video, please feel free to send it to them so that they can enjoy it too. In the comments, what would you have named this cape? Or what character would you wear this cape with? If you're going to like a Ren fair or a cosplay event, what kind of character would you put in this cape? If you would like to come along on my growing journey, hit that subscribe button and make sure that little bell icon is filled in so you can get notified when I upload videos. I don't want to say every Saturday. I'm shooting for every Saturday, but videos are not my main focus. Making product and getting product out to you guys is the main focus. So I'm going to be focusing more on the making product because we are getting ready for FanX. FanX is the last week of September, is the 25th through the 27th. So if you guys want to come and stop by our booth, I am going to be helping out and selling at Nat 20 Sabers booth. They sell high quality dueling grade lightsabers and D&D paraphernalia. So come and get your tickets and come see us. But I'm going to be focusing on product, and that might mean that I don't get a video out in 1 week or something. But I promise that they will come out Saturdays at 1 p.m. just like normal, and shorts will continue to come out every Friday, but longer videos like this will be coming out on Saturdays. I do crafting content, which includes the big majority is sewing. I do D&D miniatures. I want to get into painting. I do crochet and knit. So I'm just all around crafty, but I'm mostly focusing on sewing so I can show you guys the products that I make. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, especially if you've gotten this far into the video. The algorithm is going to love that. So thank you very, very much. It definitely helps out the channel a lot. That's all I have for you today. So keep smiling and stay majestic. Cape, so shoulder to knee length. Why am I talking about that? We're talking about the 4 categories. So I'm getting back into sewing, and I'm going to take the pressure off of editing Ashley, because editing Ashley hates it. Yeah, I should have a closet full of product right now, but I don't. And it kind of sucks. Either way, I need to go through my fabric stash and make sure that I have stuff that I can use. But off to the fabric stash to see what... Off to the fabric stash. Oh well. Off to the fabric stash to see what I have and what speaks to me. Alright. Go black. Okay. That didn't turn off. Alright. I need that attached to me, don't I? It doesn't really feel Ren Fairy. Ren Fairy. Would you say this is a pattern or a solid? It might be too blue. Egg. Maybe they won't care? I don't think I have enough here for a cape. There's definitely not enough here for a cape. For a cape, you need like at least 1 king-size duvet cover, usually more. And these are not duvet covers, so we're not gonna do a cape with the, I'm so happy to be back to actual sewing and making product. I'm just super excited. I'm not sure you realize how excited and how good this feels. I'm so happy to be back. It's been 6 months, so I'm excited. Get to working on this. No, that's crappy. All right. That's gonna drive me nuts. I feel like this will complement it. Let's go to the sewing machine. Right there. The pleat was big enough, but I didn't have enough material to do a second one. What happened? Garrett!
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Okay. Kudos to me picking out the pattern. Okay, I'm rambling about how well this went on. As soon as I got it done, I was so excited to go model it, but then I got to my closet and was like, but what would I wear? I felt like the Grinch. I was like, I don't have anything to wear. Like, comment, share. If you want to come along with me on my growing YouTube. Oh, there's another difference, isn't there? No, that's fine.